So hello and welcome to the Leman Lions, our academy podcast, looking at taking situations from the classroom to the touchline. Hi, I'm Garth. I'm head of football here at Sir John Leman Sixth Form. And here with this great podcast, we're going to be taking you inside our academy setup. We're going to be looking at how we can balance sport and education so that people can understand the opportunities that this program can provide for you. Not just you, the child and the players themselves, but also how it has an impact on families and the community that we're in. Because in football and in academic opportunities, sometimes we don't always understand the opportunities that are available to us. So within this podcast, over the 20 episodes that we've got planned, we're going to be talking to players, students and experts within their field, so we can make it very clear how the different ways that we in this sixth form can support your journey. Why is that important? Well, you need to know all the information to help you make educated decisions about how you can increase your possibilities to achieve your goals, because ultimately that's what we're all after. So if we can support you on that journey, then it's a great thing for you and it's a great thing for us. So sit back, relax, and let's enjoy this first episode together. As I say, welcome to Leman Lions. So great, thanks for joining us. Let's talk about the first section. And I suppose a question maybe a lot of people might be asking right now is, why Leman Lions? Why now? Well, I think it's a great opportunity for us to showcase what we've created at Sir John Leman Sixth Form. Because there's lots of great football programmes. We're not naive to think we're the only one. But what we've done is something a little bit unique. Now, unique doesn't necessarily mean better. We all appreciate that. But it is unique. Why is it unique, Garth, you might be thinking? Well, if you go to a lot of programmes, if you're going to study, in this case, sport, in this case, football, then you have to do a sports BTEC. And there's nothing wrong with a sports BTEC. If you know that you want to be working in the world of sport as a coach, a referee, a physiotherapist, a sports scientist, then that's a great opportunity for you to gain the knowledge you need, and it'll get you the points you need to go into universities or a possible scholarship to America. But let's be real for a second. I know lots of talented athletes that have other ambitions, and actually sports courses might not be the option for them. Let's say, for example, you want to be an architect. Well, doing a sports course isn't going to help you achieve your goals. So what we did, we sat down and talked about how do we make sure we keep the net as wide as possible to make sure we can target people who are interested in sport but maybe have other career goals. And that's what makes us unique. See, here at Sir John Leman, you can come be part of the academy, but you don't have to do the sports course. You can select any A level that suits what your future career goals are. Why is that so important? Well, if you look in the world of sport now, let's focus on that for a second. The opportunities are amazing. Coaching, refereeing, working in media, working in journalism, all those opportunities are available to you in future pathways. We have great expertise within our staff here at Sir John Leman, experts in their field. Now, what makes us so unique and why we're going to spend so much time talking to these experts and ex-students, by the way, who have actually achieved some of these outcomes, or I think which will be really important to stress, was it'll show you how these experts, teachers in this sixth form can actually support that journey. With that, we also made a great partnership with Beccletown Football Club. Some people have said to me, why Beccletown, Garth? Well, let me tell you why. At the club, they've really invested in how they develop their facilities, how they support player development. But also, more importantly for us as a sixth form, what really appealed to us was the fact that they were willing to take such a partnership with us where we could send people out on work placements. Why is that important? Well, let's say, for example, let's make up a case. Let's say now you're interested in sports media. Well, we've arranged a partnership with Beccletown Football Club. So you could be working with the experts here in the sixth form centre about how to develop the skills you need to pursue a career in that path and take further studies in university, of course. But also what we can do, we can put you on placement with the football club for 2 years. So So when it comes to filling in applications, if that's going to try and gain a scholarship in America or going to apply to universities, alongside your UCAS application, you'll also have a personal statement that relates to 2 years worth of work within the specific field, which only strengthens your application process. So for me, when it comes to those sort of opportunities, having partnerships with Beccletown actually is a great way we can support you, giving you real world experiences. And that's no difference if it's media, if it's sports therapists, if it's coaching, if it's refereeing. All of those opportunities are what we're going to be able to support within our program, which again goes back to my first point. We had a choice. We could replicate what everyone else is doing, and there's nothing wrong with replication, because replication has shown great benefits for those other establishments. But we want to do something different. So we went for unique. And that's what we're going to say. That's one of our main selling points to you as an individual. And throughout the 20 episodes, we're going to highlight and stress how unique our offer is and how we can support people in preparing for sport now and for life beyond Leman. So let's consider that over the next few episodes. So let's get to one of our next points here. What can you expect from our podcast, Leman Lines? Well, over the next 20 episodes, we're going to spend a lot of time interviewing and having guests on the show where we can have real conversations with staff, pupils, players, guests from the world of the industry that we're talking about with sport and media, et cetera, et cetera. The reason for that is you have questions. I have questions. A lot of these fields I know very little about, but I'm going to enjoy investigating those fields to find the answers that you might be interested in. Why is that important? With so many things and so many opportunities available, the key is making a decision based on correct, up-to-date information. So the idea of this podcast is to share with you experiences that we've had in-house. Of course it is. To praise some of those experiences, to celebrate the successes of past students and the current students. But it's also to answer some of those questions that you and I might have within certain fields that we maybe don't know enough about yet, and how we can gain that knowledge, use that knowledge to improve the educational choices that we make. So that is the objective of our Leman Lines. Is to look at situations. The whole tagline is around taking the situation from the classroom to the touchline. And that's exactly what the purpose of these episodes is going to be. Looking at how we can take the situations from a learning environment and how we apply them in real life situations. So let's share those experiences together. Let's benefit from those situations together and enjoy the episodes that we've got planned. So what is the main takeaway of our first episode? Because I'm trying to keep this nice and brief. The main takeaway is our academy is all about growth, opportunity and community. That's the heartbeat of Leman Lines. And I appreciate the time you've spent today in listening to this first episode. If you've really enjoyed it and you're interested in some of the topics we will be covering in the future, subscribe on your favourite platform so you'll stay up to date when we release new content. Talking about new content, let's talk about our next episode. The next episode is a really interesting one, where I'll be talking to senior leaders from within the school and the sixth form. Now, that might not spark too much interest in the initial phase when I say that, but let me explain why it's important. It was these senior leaders that saw an opportunity. It was these senior leaders that created this chance for ultimately you. So I want to know why, don't you? Why Leman? Why an academy? Why not follow the model that everyone else has followed? Why be so unique? And they're the sort of questions I'm going to put to them. Because if we understand the processes that went into the decisions that were made, it helps us understand the journey that we've come on, but also the destination we're heading towards. So let's find those answers out next week on our episode 2. I look forward to seeing you then.